Alrighty, Darren, you're again here on behalf of the NCAA following Game 4 of the 2023 NCAA Baseball Championships here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, with the winners, Lynchburg, with an 8-6 victory over UW-La Crosse. From left to right, I'm joined by head coach Lucas Jones, Zach Potts, Mason McDowell, and Sean Pokerock. So, Coach, just give us an opening statement on kind of what you saw out there, how the game kind of played itself out.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much our game. We've played a lot of different games this year. And found ways to win. And I think, from a pitching standpoint, Zach did a great job, and traditionally has carried into the 6th, 7th inning pretty much all year. So we kind of expected that, and Batch came in, and he struggled a little bit more than he has all year, which is certainly understandable and fine. And then Mason came in and was able to get the 2 crucial outs there to finish the game. But I felt like we had some big hits. We're opportunistic and kind of did that in bunches, and we've been doing that quite a bit here over the last stretch. And pitching was good enough today, but La Crosse was really good. They don't swing at balls. They have a good approach, and obviously well sound and making it this far. And I thought Cats did a good job of holding the game at 2-0, and then we're just fortunate to get him there towards the back end of his pitch count.
Pat and or Jim.
Thanks. Obviously there's a lot of things to talk about in this game. I want to start with Sean, though. The insurance run in the 8th, really aggressive base running to advance on the pass ball, getting from 2nd to 3rd. What did you see? Is that, you're already, right, you guys are already up by whatever it is, 7-2, by 5 runs at that point, right? What were you thinking? What did you process there?
Well, the catcher had been dropping the ball pretty much most of the game, just spontaneously would drop one, and I was just looking to see that opportunity and then just take an extra bag, because it's a lot harder and a lot more stress on the pitcher and catcher when there's a runner on 3rd. For an opportunity to score.
Is that something you guys talk about on the bench? An observation that someone brought to you, something you saw?
I think me and Eric Hyatt were talking about it earlier, but I think most guys saw it. It was pretty obvious.
I gotcha. Man, Zach, let me ask you about keeping that lineup in check for the 7 innings that you said. I mean, Coach said into the 6th, into the 7th, that you got through the 7th today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they were really, really good. Like Coach said, they've got a great approach. They probably swung at, I don't know, maybe a total of 10 balls that I threw all day. Really made me be over the plate. And that's kind of where I like to be, is being challenged by some really good hitters. It makes me bear down, have to throw some really good pitches. I was leaving some pitches up early, that's where they were getting some of their hits, but then I was able to bear down later in the game. And it's really just about mixing both in and out and up and down, really kind of keeping me on my toes.
Their number 3 hitter, the second baseman, Max Bourne, I'm sorry, I don't have the roster number handy, but obviously he reached base every single time against both of you guys. What was he doing?
I think he was just staying super disciplined, made us throw some over the plate, and eventually he's probably going to get one that's kind of left over. I kind of black out when I'm thinking about particular guys coming in, but I would assume he was ambushing some early in the count fastballs, getting on and or taking some really good pitches to work walks.
Coach, I'm sure you had to think that when you brought in your All-American closer for those final 6 outs that it was going to be a little bit of a smoother ride than you got. Take us through, like the first 3 guys reach base right away, and then he works out of it, and then same thing happens in the 9th. What's the, what are you thinking about, when to pull him, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, Jack, first of all, Jack has been amazing all year, so he's allowed not to be great, unfortunately. It's in a big moment like that, but I also think he's very grateful for being able to get the win. When it comes to pitching decisions and matchups and scouting and things like that, I'm on the outside looking in. That's Coach Beasley and Coach Solbach, and Bees walked by me and said, "I'm going to make a move right here." I said, "Okay, all right, let's go get it." So just those guys kind of run that show when it comes to who they want out there, and I'm just good with it. And if it doesn't go well, then I'll wear it, and if it goes well, then I'll take credit for it. But I wish. No, but in all seriousness, no. They just, I think it was just more of a gut reaction there. Just maybe a little bit more of a fastball there from Mason, just to kind of maybe beat their bats, because I think they were sitting feasting on those fastballs. But if we can get it, just a tick or two higher velocity wise, I felt like maybe that was what we were going for there.
Mason, just tell us first off, when you're just called upon to go out to the bullpen and get ready in a hurry when your stopper's on the mound already, and then coming into after all that's happened in the ninth.
I mean, Batch just got in a little bit of trouble today and didn't have his best stuff. He's been lights out all year, and Beasley just called my name on the radio, and I just went over there, got hot, got to do what I had to do.
You're a freshman, right?
Yes, sir.
So, biggest moment of your career so far, right?
Definitely was, yes, sir.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that feels like when you hear your name, or is it just like you are straight into locked-in mode and you're not thinking about anything else?
I mean, I just wasn't thinking about anything but closing the game out.
Zach, can you talk about what Mason did to pick you guys up at the end there?
I mean, it's huge. He won't take enough credit for it, but that's humongous as a freshman coming out. World Series, first World Series for us. Like, being able to stay over the plate when there's a pretty true zone, and being able to compete after kind of a little bit of a rocky inning. Yeah. I think it's unreal. It's a testament to how much he's kind of worked throughout the year and his stuff. I mean, Batch has so many saves for us. I think the next person up would be Mason. He would have more saves. This wouldn't be his first save because his stuff is that good.
Yeah, I gotcha. I want to ask you guys, and collectively, I don't know who wants to answer necessarily, but there was another moment in the 8th in which Hyatt makes this great stop of a ball down the line that looks like it's going to be a double, right, and essentially gets you guys out of that inning. What's, take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Eric's in there to hit. He's a hockey goalie over there, so just as long as he can keep the baseball in front of him and record outs, that's what we're going for. But he's in there to swing it. But yeah, it was a really nice play. He just had a good reaction there to the forehand side, and just the instinct I think took over in terms of making that play. That certainly calmed the storm. I know they still had second and third, right, with with 2 outs, but Batch was able to make the pitch and make the pitches there to kind of get out of that jam that was induced by them.
And Sean, I know I asked you about that one particular base running portion of the game, but you had 3 hits. Tell me a little bit more about what you saw at the plate today.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking to get my best swing off and try to do damage on fastballs early, and luckily enough, I wasn't getting into it right away, so they kept giving it to me, and I was lucky to just keep getting hits. I mean, I was just trying to catch the ball out in front and hit it hard and did good things for me, so that's all.
Can I ask collectively just about, this being the program's first trip to the D3 World Series, what's it like? What's the community been like? I know, campus is probably pretty quiet this time of year, but what do you hear from people here as you guys are making this trip?
I mean, first of all, like, people that made the trip out here, like, it's a long flight and then another drive, or a lot of parents just drove straight up, and that feels really good to have that kind of community. The parents have been coming to all of our games all year, and we definitely have like a family on our team that has really kind of come to fruition, and then the parents being an extension of that, coming to all these games, being super supportive is ginormous. And then on the other end, people back home are constantly sending love and support, and really that kind of helps us out, like kind of bring it home to us. People aren't on campus, and so we're the only ones really, but also the lacrosse team was just finishing up their regional last week, and they're super supportive, like telling us go get after it. So there's this huge athletic community on campus, and then there's the kind of family and friends aspect of it where everyone's just super supportive.
I've dominated. I'm sorry. Thanks.
Coach, you talked about pitching and defense. You certainly got the pitching today. You had a defensive lapse in 1 inning, but you came back at the next inning to score 5 runs. How important were those runs to come back and sit there, and once they've tied the game and you go back and you retake the lead?
Yeah, unfortunately that's happened. Not the error per se, but just we've had a 1 or 2 run lead over the stretch here, and whether it's the ODAC tournament or in the regional, and teams have been able to answer. You know, they have a right to be really good too. And so I think, yeah, the adversity there and the response there was crucial, especially after, you know, what potentially just could have been a 2-1 game, right? If we could have minimized there, and everything after that's a sequence of events. So, you know, they may have gone and scored 6 runs, you know, but we turned the double play there that was just huge to stop the bleeding, and then made the big pitches to keep it at 2-2. And I think that's important. You know, sometimes, you know, you're not going to get off to the races and be up 6-7 nothing. You have to minimize damage and just be able to kind of keep that game afloat, and that's what we did. And yeah, the at-bats there were very important. You know, just again, the ability to shorten up, the ability to put baseballs in play is important this time of year, and just force the defense to make some plays on you. And they did the same thing. We made some nice plays early in the game that kind of stymied some innings, you know. But yeah, that's what we've kind of been doing, you know, all year. You know, pitching and defense, and you know, death by 1,000 cuts offensively.
Zach, you were in the dugout when they scored those runs. What were you thinking going through as you're seeing your teammates pick you up?
Yeah, no, definitely. After a long inning being out there for a while, it's really great for the lineup to give me a little bit of a breather, and also knowing that they're always there to pick me up if I'm struggling at all. I know defense always has me, and I know offense always has me. So it's a really good feeling kind of coming back, because it's different pitching a tied game than it is pitching a game with what would have been like 3-run lead at that time, 5-run lead.
Any questions from Lynchburg?
Real quick, you played really late tonight, but you're going to have time to enjoy this one. First game in the World Series and you get a win. Are you going to have time to think about this, or are you going to remember?
I'm going to remember that it's 1:42 in the morning, and I'm an old man and need my sleep.
2:42 Lynchburg time.
Yes, 2:42 Lynchburg
that's
time.
better.
So that's even more of a, hey, I need some sleep. But yeah, I mean, you know, at this point, it's just what's the next matchup, and spending the next few hours to sleep and then get ready to go again tomorrow. So.
Well, you are maybe a first-timer here and a first-timer in the interview room, but you led us to a perfect segue, because your next opponent is going to be tomorrow against East Texas Baptist. So rest up, recover, and get ready to go. And congratulations to you all on a big victory here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Congrats.
Appreciate your time.